Hi, good morning. My name is Chandrajyoti Singh. I've secured AIR 28 in the recently concluded UPSC Civil Services Examinations 2019. Basically, I've been asked to give a talk, and here first I'd like to just delineate the structure. First, I'll delve into a little bit of my background, then I'll move on to my journey with the civil services, and thirdly, I'd like to focus on my strategy to optimize my preparation. So first of all, something about myself. So my dad served in the army. He was an army doctor, and my mother is also a retired army officer. I grew up in multiple cities across India, mostly North India, because that's where we were posted. I eventually joined St. Stephen's College to pursue my graduation in history. I graduated in 2018. Since I was just 20 years old that time, I decided to take a gap year and prepare for the civil services examination. I gave my first attempt in 2019, and with God's grace, I have been successful. Right. So that is something about myself, and now I'd like to basically move on to my journey. First of all, before you begin your civil services preparation, look into yourself and decide what is the motivation to clear the civil services, right? So two things for me were my motivators. First of all, I'd seen my parents serve the nation in the army, and that obviously motivated me a great deal to do my bit for the nation. And secondly, I felt that this is something my parents would be proud of. So it was a two-way street, right? I wanted to clear the examination because I wanted to serve the nation, and I also wanted to make my parents proud. At the end of the day, when you are at your lowest during this examination preparation, you have to look for and keep coming back to the motivators why you decided to go for civil services. Right. So after I decided on my motivation, I first figured out a prep plan for myself, which I would suggest each and every one who is appearing for civil services should take the time out to do, because at the end of the day, everyone is working hard. The point is to work smartly so that you reduce your effort and you clear this exam in your first go. Let me just take you through my journey. For the first 6 months after my graduation exams, I focused on completing the syllabus. NCERT books, as they say, are a must. However, I had read the basic sources, the NCERTs for the basic subjects in my third year itself. In my gap year, I decided to take it further. So in the first 6 months, I tried to complete the syllabus as per the UPSC, the nitty-gritties that they say. So each and every word and each and every keyword, is important. So nothing can be missed in this preparation. I tried to pair my GS preparation with my optional preparation. My optional was history. So in the first 6 months, I completed the entire syllabus. Thereafter, I decided to go for multiple revisions, which is what anyone should do if they hope to clear this examination, because after all, revision is key, and we're all humans. We tend to forget the moment we're done with the particular subject. So I would say revise, revise and revise. Besides revision, what you should also start doing after your syllabus is over is focus on mains answer writing practice, because answer writing is very important, and it's a stress situation in the examination. So you are already stressed, you have limited time, and the only way to score good marks in mains, I would say, obviously is reading, doing your hard work, but also you have to test yourself, in your mains test series. I took my mains test series after I had, so I started writing my answer after I finished my syllabus in the first 6 months. After I finished the syllabus, I also started taking certain mocks for the prelims. I would say that you should do this side by side along with the revision. When the prelims was finally approaching, 2 months before my prelims, I started to focus completely on prelims. So I started revising my current affairs regularly. I also started revising the basic sources, the NCERTs, the Spectrum book for history, and other such basic sources multiple times. since I had handwritten notes for many of these, my revision became much more easier for me. So that is another thing I would like to impress on you all, is that, you know, focus on limiting your sources, and after you've limited your sources, focus on, you know, handwritten notes, short handwritten notes which you can revise at the end of the day, just before your prelims is there. After prelims, I decided to just focus on my mains preparation, as I felt that I had done sufficiently well. I took 2 mains test series for my mains examination. The first was Vision IAS and the second was ForumIAS mains test series. I also took my essay test series from both the same institutions for my mains preparation. I would say that in order to you know, really do well in your mains, the first and foremost thing is to start taking your tests seriously. Those 3-hour tests have to be time bound, even if you're writing at home or you're writing at the hall. So really be strict with yourself, don't be lenient, because the examiner, the invigilator rather, is not going to be lenient with you at the examination hall. If anything, the conditions are going to be harder, right? So I would say start taking your test seriously. Me personally, I took about 2 to 3 tests every weekend. So the entire week prior to my mains test, I would revise the syllabus of whatever was coming in the test, and then I would take the test and judge for myself if I've done well or not. And also, since both the institutions that I took mains test series from do release your ranking in the class, it was also beneficial for me to see how well I had performed, and also if I was ranking behind, then how much harder I would have to work to reach the top, right? So I think in mains, before mains, the best you can do is revise and take your mains test series. After my mains, I decided to go a little light on myself. So I did take a break from my studies for a few days, a week or so. But after that, you know, you have to get back into the groove, because you don't know for sure in this examination whether you're going to clear your mains or not. Right. So since my results of the mains were also delayed this year, they came on January 15th. I was already in a very stressed out situation. But luckily I cleared my mains, and I made it through to the interview. Now for the interview stage, I would say that 3 things I focused on, and I think they worked for me. First and foremost was my DAF, detailed application form. That is a must, because you have to know about yourself, right? Secondly, I focused on the current affairs. Current affairs are really important in this examination at each and every stage, but even more so in the interview, because you have less time to think, you have to answer them right then and there. So I would say, you know, keep up with the current affairs throughout the examination, especially for the interview. And third, I would say, as in every stage, like in the prelims, in the mains, you have to go for mock tests. So I took about 5-6 mock interviews for my interview preparation. And yeah, so that was my prelims, mains and interview. Right. So how to now, you know, optimize preparation if you want to clear it in one go, I would say is that first of all, you know, keep your sources limited. After you finish the NCRTs, you would want to go for some higher sources, you know, which are higher in the difficulty level or anything. Do go for them, but still keep them limited. At the end of the day, you will have very less time to revise before your prelims, before your mains. So after you're done reading from the different sources, try to collate them together in your handwriting. Or if you are more of a digital person, then go for Evernote. That's what I did for my current affairs. I realized very early on that current affairs, revising current affairs takes a lot of time, or even, you know, reading the newspaper every day takes a lot of time. In the beginning, for the first 1 or 2 months, it took me 3 hours to actually finish the newspaper and make notes. I think if you want to, you know, really speed up that process, but also do justice to your, you know, studies, then I would say that please try to go for digital, you know, go for digital sources like Evernote. You can always, you know, put together all your notes from different sources. You might be reading the newspaper, you might be following some, you know, daily current affairs from certain websites. As I said, revision is very important for clearing this examination, obviously, and current affairs are getting added on every day. So you have to focus on that as well. I made a rigorous revision plan for myself. So first of all, I would revise whatever I did in the week every Sunday. That meant that I would revise all my current affairs also that Sunday, all the general studies or history preparation I had done that week every Sunday. I again revised the whole month's current affairs with that. After that, I still did not feel very sure of myself. So once in October, I began revising current affairs again from June onwards. So like I said, I think revision has been a very important part of my strategy and my ways to optimize my preparation. Secondly, like I said, test series are very important. You can read all you want. Everyone's working really hard. But if you don't test yourself, you don't know where you rank, right? For my mains, as I mentioned before, I followed ForumIAS and I followed Vision IAS mains test series for both GS and for essay. And coming to the interview, I took mocks at Vision, I took mocks at Rao, Chanakya, yeah, and those were it. Then coming on to, notes. So like figure out your strategy, your own strategy to make notes. What works for you may not work for someone else. What works for me may not work for you. So I divided my note-making strategy. For current affairs, I only used Evernote. It was there where I compiled all my, current affairs for the day, and then for the weekly revision was done from there, and monthly revision also, along with the current affairs compilation. I used to look constantly at my own notes that I had made on Evernote. For GS and for my optional, I used to go for only handwritten notes as far as possible. Because number one, it helped me in remembering in that moment, and I also tried to shorten the content that I had by making flowcharts or by making maps. Making flowcharts and maps is also important in your own notes, because this will prepare you for your mock test and eventually your mains examination. Because at the end of the day, you have to make your copy stand out, right? So if you go for flowcharts in your answer scripts or you go for maps in your answer scripts, definitely your answer will get an X factor, an edge above the other candidates. But to do that, you have to start from the basics. That is, you have to make your notes in such a way that there are flowcharts already incorporated. You remember these and you can then reproduce them in the answer script. Then a lot of students have doubts regarding certain keywords in the syllabus that the UPSC publishes. I would say that for these certain keywords or certain topics, not a great many sources are available. So I would suggest that just Google these particular topics and write UPSC as the keyword. You will find multiple sites such as Insights IAS or Civils Daily, these are the two I use whenever I could not find anything on a particular topic, or many other sites also come in your search result. So please do that if you cannot find a traditional source for a particular topic. Coming to my optional, I took history as my optional because it has always been my favorite subject. I did my graduation in history. I really love the subject. So I felt that I would be really comfortable with it and I can read it for long hours without getting bored even one bit. So even then, I, like in the middle, I would think, oh, like, did I make the right choice? So what I would say is, please, if you want to save yourself from any sort of regret and all, go through the syllabus and see if you can read this subject for long hours. And if you think you have a knack for this subject, you can grasp it easily. Don't take an optional, people say that, oh, take anthropology or sociology, but choose an optional that works for you. And don't go by, what other people are saying, whether an optional is scoring or the subject is, the syllabus is less for the particular subject. Even if the syllabus is vast, you will do well if you have that motivation for that subject. So for my optional preparation, I took obviously notes from my graduation. They carried forward and they really helped me during my optional preparation. Along with that, I obviously went for the basic sources such as Professor Upinder Singh's book for ancient India. For medieval India, I stuck with Satish Chandra, and then for modern India, I went for Bipin Chandra and Shekhar Bandyopadhyay. For world history, I went for Norman Low, Jain and Mathur, and then at the end of the day, as I said, Google if you cannot find any information in the traditional sources. That will take you forward. For history, I would say maps definitely are very important. So from the beginning, please focus, on your maps. Every day, I used to take half an hour, and from the beginning of my preparation, I used to mark 5 places on the map each and every day. And then after all the map sites, at least the basics were over, I used to keep coming back to the same maps, keep revising them. So map is definitely very important. Like I said, for the other GS and your prelims, mocks again become very important. I again took mocks for my optionals. I went to GS core for my mocks, as well as self-study history for my mocks. And I think that paid off, going for these mocks and focusing on maps is a must. I would reiterate that, because maps can be very confusing for me also. I think it took me a long time to grasp it, but if you just stick with it, you work hard, you will definitely be able to grasp it. Now, I'd also like to come to the problem that most of the UPSC aspirants face. After you get your sources, after you have made your study plan and everything, how to stick with it, how to be disciplined and how to not get demotivated. So like I said in the beginning, you have to think, why do I want to take the UPSC examination? And each time you get demotivated, whether you're tired of studying, or you feel like your score is too low and you won't be able to clear the examination, I suggest go back to the same motivation, what drove you here and what will carry you forward. So motivation, obviously, your reasons for your motivation are very important, first and foremost. Secondly, I think not many people talk about it, but mental health is extremely important, during the UPSC preparation, especially in a time like COVID. So, we are all getting stressed, exams are getting delayed, you don't know whether, certain exams will happen on certain date, when will the result come out, all of that. So for that, I would say, have a good support network. For me, I think that was my parents. I talked to my mother every day of my preparation, as well as my dad. I also kept in touch with a few of my close friends, about 4 or 5 friends. I could open up to them, I could share the troubles that I was facing, and they would, definitely hear and give me their own solutions about how to face this examination. So always, try to have a good support network. Thirdly, people obviously always say that for this examination, you have to slog all day, you have to work really hard. That is definitely there. Hard work is a key component, but I would also say smart studying, and take time to, relax. Don't get too stressed. Always relax, if you're getting low scores or if you're tired of studying, just take a break. I used to take a break, from my studies every 20 days. I would, watch a movie, or, just relax or read a new book. It's something that is not from the syllabus, just to ease my mind. Lastly, I would like to say that, I think for me, another important part of my strategy was taking the middle path. So whether you're writing your examination, like in your mains answer scripts or your essay, always take the middle path, as they say. Always judge the pros and cons of both the sides and then go for the middle path. And Lord Buddha also said, go for the middle path, and also take the middle path for your own self, because don't be too harsh on yourself if you are not studying as hard, or you're not getting a certain number of marks in the mocks. Or don't be too lenient with yourself, okay, I can do it, I'm smart, I used to do well in my graduation, so definitely I'll clear UPSC. So, that is not going to happen. You just have to take the middle path in your preparation, in your answer writing, and obviously in your life as well. That's it from me. Thank you.